Hello retro gaming football friends, welcome back to what I believe, if my notes are correct, is episode 30 of the Lockdown Challenge here on Championship Manager 97-1998. Before we get into everything, if you're new around here, please drop a like on the channel, if I can speak. We'll get onto that in a minute. And yeah, a like on the video, all that lovely stuff. So this has actually been quite a while since I've recorded an episode. Luckily I had a big backlog, so over Christmas I could just continue my schedule, didn't have to worry about recording. My daughter was off school, which is obviously, as anyone who regularly watches knows, that's when I'm recording, is when she's at school, and that's when I have the time and space to record. So with her being off, it made it a little bit more difficult, plus the Christmas period, absolutely hectic. I've still got a couple more episodes, so as I'm recording this, it's literally, what, the 5th, I think, of January. We'll be a few weeks ahead, but yeah, so it's been a bit bad, but I am running out of episodes, so I'm a bit closer than maybe I realised before Christmas. So luckily I did have enough of a backlog, but here we are. And I'm a little bit rusty. It's my first one recording back, so a little bit rusty. Not completely refreshed. Christmas was absolute carnage, good, bad, and ugly, all of it really. Lots of eating, lots of food, all the usual stuff, seeing family, that sort of good stuff. A few hospital visits, unfortunately. A few family bereavement as well, which wasn't great, and possibly another one, hopefully not, but possibly a bit closer as well. But so a bit of a up and down Christmas period, and it was my daughter's birthday as well, so that sort of brought everything back up again as well. So, but here we are back in January, obviously well in January by the time it comes out, but that's where I am, so I'm a bit closer than I expected. But last time out, in the last episode, we did crash out the UEFA Cup quarterfinals. I think it was Atletico Madrid, so a team we know very well. It's been a couple of weeks since I recorded, so I can't remember exactly, but I think it was Atletico Madrid. We've played right through. It gave me a good chance to just play through casually to get to this point, but the 18th of May, it's the last two games, and we've got Real Madrid and Barcelona. Fantastic last two games. So as we left off, we'll have a look at the table in a moment, but I think the first game we had to play was Espanyol. Yes, it was Atletico Madrid we lost to. I could have just gone to this screen and answered that without the waffle of not knowing, really, couldn't I? But we had Espanyol, which was a top of the table clash at the time, a 1-1 draw. Again, but in this sort of time, Barcelona and Real Madrid were only the only winners, really. Well, Real Madrid were the winners, Barcelona weren't. They lost their game, so they're not punishing us when they have the chance to. But do you know what? I don't care. But Albert Ferrer there has moved from Barcelona to Espanyol, which is a bit of a... He's gone for Atletico Madrid first, actually, but a bit of a rivalry that they are. I think it's Espanyol and Barcelona, are both Barcelona teams, I think. So a bit of rivalry in there. Anyway, but then we had Real Madrid again, and we did exact some revenge in the league this time. Around this sort of time, I think it was just before this game, we did lose Conway for a few months, so he's going to miss the end of the season. So as you can see, we've got David May in the team just there. But we did manage to grab the points in this game. Oh, we did have a friendly with Northern Ireland. We'll have a look at those in a minute, actually. We'll come back to that. So 2-1 win here. We could have done with that with kind of result in Europe. But you know what, we're on a surge here. I don't think Europe actually plays too much of a part in our challenge. I think the league has a bit more of a bearing. So I can't remember what the challenge is at all. We'll have a look soon, because it's the last episode. We can have a look sort of where we are. But I think a lot of it's around Northern Ireland anyway. So that will probably be the next episode. And in actual fact, I mightn't be able to record 3 episodes today, so I'll get back ahead. But look at that team for Atletico Madrid. Juninho, Veron, Vieira, Caminero, Ferdinand, Serrani in goal, who's got man of the match, of course. But yeah. And Espanyol actually slipped in their game as well, so it put a bit of daylight for us. We then had Oviedo, 3-1 win, but it was a bit disappointing, the scoreline, really, because they had a red after 2 minutes. Our goals come from Gospodarek and then Postman off the bench, but as you can see, well deserved result. They scored. They actually took the lead. I didn't have that in my notes. They got the red card and took the lead. But we rallied, got the goals we needed, and saw the result out. That's all that matters. Do you know, goal difference, whatever. I do remember there is a challenge, I think, on this season for biggest margin of victory. I think it is just for your club. I'm not sure. Maybe for the country. If it's for the country, we've got some good ones for Northern Ireland, I think. So if we can use that, we'll have to maybe factor that in as potentially as our final score, whether it counts as Ireland or the club. But then we had a good 5-2 win against Rayo Vallecano. Weir and Barcelona, finally rock up. They had a bit of a break, but 3 goals and 2 goals apiece, and Espanyol lost to Barcelona. So double-edged sword really, because it's given Barcelona a chance sort of to get back in, but it did also knock the team that was actually technically closer to us just down that little bit more. Who the hell is that? McDonald in the Afi, kind of half Spanish, half Cameroon. Doesn't really know where he's from, but McDonald, he's got to be a regen, right? He's not. Okay, fair enough. But a good 5-2 win against Vallecano keeps us way on track for this season. And then, yeah, fucking Real Sociedad. They seem to be a bit of a bogey team, bit of a bane of our life in this save. Danny got 4 fucking goals, and I think he had 1 disallowed as well. He's banging the goals in this season, in fairness to him, but I mean, if you take those 4 goals out of his numbers, we've kind of inflated him a little bit there. I mean, he's close to 100 goals in his career now, so he's not been a bad signing for Sociedad. But yeah, 5-1. I don't even know. Well, we had a red card after 35 minutes, but I mean, in all fairness, we were 2-0 down already and 3-0 down not long after. I mean, we had 1 actually in there. We were 2-1 and 3-1. But yeah, David May did not help us at all. We're missing Connolly at the back. He's, Paul McGrath's regen, steadying influence back there. But we did bounce back, 4-0 win against Valladolid, and Glaucio was in for the suspended George Weir, and he repaid us with a hat-trick. Barcesian grabbing the other one there, and yeah, pretty standard wrapped up game really. I think Valladolid are right down the bottom, so not too surprising really. But then squeaky bum time, getting into the last couple of fixtures. This was the penultimate. No, this is 3 games left before where we are now, so very squeaky. Trying to get some results in, but a 0-0 against Merida, who I think we're down the bottom. I think we did rotate a few players out. It does look like we have a few, but not many. So disappointing really, but I think we battered them. Not really. We deserved. I'd say we deserve a win there. I'm surprised we didn't lose 1-0 with that one shot on target, in all honesty, and get completely CM'd. But we managed to hold a draw, I guess. But we did then lose to Racing Santander. We lose, Barcelona lose, and the fact that I've written Barcelona also lose suggests to me potentially that they've overhauled Espanyol. Maybe Espanyol fell away. That does kind of ring familiar. I don't think they are second anymore. We'll have a look at the table in a minute. And then, as you can see, we get to the last couple of games now, but we did have Betis, a good 2-0 win, battled to a 2-0 win. Barcelona and Real Madrid have games in hand on us, so I think that could have wrapped up the table. Maybe if their games in hand don't go quite to plan, or obviously if we get something out of them now, then it's still very much in our hands, but there's games in hand that do sort of play into it a little bit, so we'll have a look at that now. So as you can see, the games in hand have been played. Okay, they must have happened in the intervening week, but I think we're all level on point. Oh no, they've got Real Madrid have still got a game in hand, so that would take them to 2 points behind us if they win that. Espanyol have got a game in hand, that would take them level with Barcelona. So not a foregone conclusion. I think Espanyol, they're 10 points ahead of no, if they can still work their way into it, but they look to be a little bit off the pace. If we look at the relegation zone, Merida, who we drew 0-0 with, are there, so that point kind of helped them, but yeah, none of the others really. Anything else we need to note in that regard? I don't believe so. So let's go and have a quick look at Northern Ireland, because I think we had 1 friendly in there for that as well. We've had a couple. I didn't write the other one down. We had Wales, which we lost 3-1. We lost Alan Fettis early on, 14 minutes to a red card. Yeah, not great. John Hartson grabbing the goal, and Danny Melville, who I assume is a regen of someone. Yeah, he looks to be. I don't know who's a forward, right, left, centre, who's Welsh. Not off the top of my head anyway, but he's done okay. He's done some good goals at some lower league clubs, so Forrest have finally picked him up and not quite carried it up the next level, but scored against us, of course. And then we had Luxembourg, who beat us 3-1. Yeah, fantastic. I don't quite know where these results come from, and they absolutely battered us as well. No red card as an excuse in this game. It just didn't work. But as you can see, we've got a couple more friendlies coming up, which we won't show because we're going to be going, after this episode, we're going to go on to the World Cup. And that will then be a separate episode in itself, and then we'll have the end of round the world look. So I potentially could record 3 episodes today. I think the World Cup might take slightly longer than expected, but as you can see, we've got Sweden, Mexico, Japan in our group. We have touched upon it previously, and I'm waffling along here. It's 10 minutes, but really I'm just nervous about these 2 games, Barcelona and Real Madrid. I think famously, historically, we don't have the greatest of records against them. It looks like Conway's... he's not quite back. Do we risk him? I think I'm going to put him on the bench. But he's not quite ready for a start. His health is still slightly down. We've got Chiangi back. We've got the mailman on the bench. Do we need Glaucio in there? So he's on the bench as well. Do you know what? Let's just get into it. The team looks fairly straightforward, fairly set. And we need to do the speed. It's not worked. Free kick in the first minute. Can we get an early start? Ruben Nelson's in there. We've scored on 1 minute. Ruben Nelson's playing. Who's injured? I think we got a long-term injury in the middle, haven't we? Oh, yeah. We do. That French guy, I think. He was injured for the rest of the season. Ferrer. Yeah, that happened a few episodes back, I do recall. But it's a good start. But it does potentially give Barcelona something to... There we go. Barely lasted 9 minutes. I bet by 20 minutes we're probably going to be 2 or 3 down. The way it's going. There we go. 10 minutes and we're 2-1 down. Oh my god. This isn't good. Obviously the last game we had against Barcelona, I think was it like a 15 goal thriller or something? I mean, the way it's going so far, it looks like it could be similar now. Amor is the player manager for Barcelona. I think he just brought himself on for Conte. Oh, I thought we were going to get equalised then. But Van der Sar in goal for Barcelona. A transfer I always thought would happen at some point, but just never seemed to. They did have a penchant for... I don't know why I use that word. But Dutch players back in the day, obviously when they had Van Gaal there and they had Rijkaard in there. You know, they had like Cocu, the De Boers, Van Bronckhorst played for them. Oh, we managed to keep it to 2-1. Can we snatch a draw? A draw? I don't know if it's enough. Oh... He goes and says it, and then literally they go and bang their third one in. I'm waiting for Alan Back Jensen to score because he always scores against me. No matter what save I'm in, whoever has him. Oh, can we just keep it... I was going to keep it fairly respectful, but apparently we can't. 4-1. Lardan. Can we grab some of our chances go in? That would be nice. We've got the players that can do it. We've shown that all season. But when it comes to these big games, we're just maybe a little bit too open. Perhaps. I don't know. We do have days where we do... we're missing some key players as well, let's be honest. In fact, we're going to bring the mailman on, I think, because he does have the quality. Bouffier isn't quite doing it in this game. I mean, let's be honest, no one's really doing it in this game. Glaucio's going to come on. We're going to switch in with Chiangi because that's where he got his hat-trick. And we kind of just have to bring... I think we just kind of have to bring Billy Mack on, don't we? No, because although they're booked, they're kind of playing okay. Who's that? That's midfielder centre. Ruben Nelson. I think he's playing okay as well. It's Conway, but I don't really want to risk bringing him on. Number 6. There we go. We're going to bring him on. Can something happen in the last 15 minutes of the game or so? It doesn't look likely. Chiangi, we hit the post. Oh, the mailman, grab one back. I mean, we're not going to get back to 4-all. I mean, you see some mad stuff in this game, but I don't think we... There we go. They're going to score again. We could score 2 more to get back to 4, but they'll probably score another 2 themselves to get to 6. Or that will just happen without us scoring, let's be honest. Always big goals, always value for money for the fans in these games. We do bring the goals. Not always for us, but we bring the goals. Yeah, Antonio Conte, did he come on for Amor? Is Amor playing himself? No, he's not. He's not. He's not even on the bench. I must have just misread something. Who did he come on for? Figo, I think. Yeah, Figo. Interesting. Okay. Was he injured? Doesn't seem to be. It was quite an early sub to make. But anyway, 5-2. Let's see what that does to the league. What does that do to the standings? How does that do with us? We need to see what Real Madrid done. And we need to potentially see what Espanyol did. We are just going to let this load through rather than coming back. Fulham win the FA Cup. Well, there's something we don't need to check for the next video, that round the world video, because we know Fulham have just won the FA Cup. Fantastic. So we're still top. Barcelona are second. Okay. Real Madrid drew with lowly Valladolid. Espanyol won against Logroñés. Okay, what does that do? I think it's still Real Madrid. So we need to beat Real Madrid. I think even if we draw against them, that will put them on 75, us on 79. No, a draw is enough against Real Madrid. Espanyol, I think, are out of it now. They can get to 77. Yeah, they're out of it. Okay, so we need to just basically beat Real Madrid. Are we at home or are we away? Not that it really matters at this stage, I think. I don't think. 25th. Okay, back in a week. See you then. Okay, just before we get back to that game, here are the games in hand. And I saw something in the middle which is interesting. It does potentially affect the next game, so I can't need to mention it, although it would be something that I'll be looking at in that Around the World video. Man United just beat Barcelona in the Champions League final. So, I don't know if Barcelona are out of the league, so I don't think it has too much of a bearing actually, but Real Madrid just beat their local rivals 3-0 easily, really. But the only good thing is they've played on a Wednesday now, so they're potentially going to be more tired. Espanyol saw out a 0-0 draw with Gijon, so yeah, 100% out of it now, which is a shame because they've been there with us kind of all season really. They've just had a bit of a lapse at the end. 1 point in it. Oh my gosh, yeah, so Barcelona are out of it. Doesn't matter. It's Real Madrid. I mean, they've lost less games than us, but they've drawn a hell of a lot more. We've scored a lot more goals, but we conceded a hell of a lot more. Goal difference isn't going to come into it because there's no result that can put them on the same points as us. So it's literally just one game shootout for this last bit. We're getting job offers left, right and centre. Sheffield United, I've seen a few French clubs, a few Spanish clubs. Bishop Auckland, I've seen pop up. Lincoln, but I think we're practically at Saturday now, so we'll just let it run its course rather than messing about with my recording software, because it does doesn't like, oh, I've got to name my squad for Northern Ireland. So we're going to quickly do that because, well, why not? Let's have a look how we're looking. Is it 22 we need? Are we missing someone? Who are we missing? What would we need? Right, we're kind of set for right backs as much as we can be. Left backs as much as we can be. I mean, left backs as much as we can be. I think I did. Who is my first choice left back? I thought it was Kennedy. I think he plays on the right, doesn't he? Oh, that's why we lost those games. We had a lot of players who weren't released by their clubs. That was it. That does ring a bell now. Okay, we're going to put Robinson on the bench. Yeah, look, even Jim Quinn wasn't available. You know, it's 12, 13, 14. Jim Quinn. Okay, so how are we looking? Are we missing anyone obvious? Griffin and Murdoch. Is that normally? That's not Taggart, is it? It's not Hughes. McGibbon normally plays. And Murdoch doesn't normally play, but he actually did okay, to be fair. Who normally plays in centre back? Are we missing a centre back? Let's have a quick look. Who are we missing? Richard Graham, he's in the team. Hughes, Joey Taggart, Peter Harrison for Carlisle. Nah, not really. Steve Morrow's in there. Darren. There's a lot of players in here already. He's old now, we don't want to call him up. If he was a younger regen guy, he might be someone who might be in for a shot, but no, I mean, he's versatile, isn't he? But he's not really good at either of those positions, so kind of defeats the purpose really. I think Danny Griffin might be our other centre back, so let's just have a look, make sure he's in. Danny Griffin, no, he's not. Okay, so let's just pop him in there. I think that's as good as we're going to get. Let's just have a quick look generally at Northern Ireland. Who we might be missing. Fitzgerald, Ship, we got all these. Danny, Keith Gillespie, Graham, McMahon. Michael Hughes isn't in there, but we don't play with a midfielder left, and he's not that great. Neil Lennon's in there. Betis should be in there. Danny Rowland isn't. I don't think he's worth an inclusion. Ryan Feeney, no. Anthony Wright we've got from Fulham. I think that's as good as we're going to get, really. Yeah, we've got no Ian Dowie. Is he retired? He must have retired. I don't know who. If there's a regen that's taking his place. Not that he's good enough to worry about that particularly too much. Chuck a quick save on because, well, why not? Just in case it crashes. We don't want to lose the progress. We don't want to lose that terrible loss to Barcelona. But here we are to Real Madrid, second place. We've got a few unhappy players, which isn't good. Wants regular first team football. Wants to move to bigger clubs still. I suspect when I go, there's going to be a bit of a fire. Oh, Favour's back. Do we? I think we've got to pop him in, haven't we? Conway, he's got to come back in. We're we've got to take that risk. We've got to spin the dice on this last game, haven't we? Let's be honest. Let's go for it. Boothia. 14 assists, 4 goals. He's doing better than the mailman this year, to be fair. 14-4 in 23. 6-9 in 24. His output is better. We've got to stick. We've got this far with him, kind of. So, hoping for a nice early goal then, but then it didn't really help us against Barcelona. So maybe that just kind of stung them into life. Whereas if we'd have done it a bit later, we might have kept them quiet for a bit longer. Who knows? Probably not. It's Barcelona. They've got some amazing players, some amazing talent. But we take the lead, 15 minutes, and I think it's Georgie Weir. Never played for Real Madrid in real life. I suspect them and Barcelona might be in for a few Salamanca players once I depart the club, which I believe is what happens at the end of the next season. George Weir, 18 minutes, 2-0. I think Real Madrid, we've got a slightly better record than Barcelona. I think. Doesn't mean we're going to win it from here. 2-0 at 25 minutes doesn't mean anything. But in my mind, I can just remember us beating Real Madrid a bit better. I think like last season, I think they weren't quite as good in the league. They've fallen down a little bit. Obviously, they've come back into play this season. Half an hour, 3-0. They've come back in to be second and the real title challenger for us. But we have really, thrown something at Spain this year and said, look, you got Barcelona, you got Real Madrid, but don't forget about little Salamanca. We are a big club. We're a good club. We've invested in youth players. Obviously, based off being actual, remakes of classic quality players, but still. And even if we sell all those players, we should make a nice bit of money that they can replace. Whoever they get as manager next has to then use that money and use those resources wisely. Otherwise, it could just be another trip back down to the second division without us in charge. But 65 minutes here, 3-1. They've got a goal back, which is a little bit worrying. But we've got Conway and Ferrer at 4-1. 4-1. I looked away then. I looked up at the sky. All by George Weir. He is loving life in this game. He's like, do you know what? I want a title this year. I want a title with... I might not be here next year, but I want a title before I go. Ferrer. Oh, I could have got 5. We do get 5. I think it's Changi again on a rebound. It is. And is he up for the golden boot? Is this going to put him in contention? Because I think Danny might be leading it at the moment. Possibly someone else even. But this 5-goal haul might be enough to get him in contention. But we'll have a look at that in that end of season video. We'll have a look at the goal scorers around the world and stuff. I don't really want to look at it today. But that is where we stand. That is a great result. I think that has won us the title, wasn't it? I don't know why. That has won us the title. I can't believe that. At the start of this season, I had no plans, aims, goals to win this division. My aim was to get, top 4. Top 4, I think. I think with the players we had, knowing we had the goals up top, and some of the strengthening we've done, sort of on the wings and in midfield and stuff, I thought, you know what, we can build for a top 4. And if we were here next year, then we'd look at maybe a title tilt. But Real Madrid are such a shock. I don't think it's that much of a shock when we've been top for most of the season. Champions. There we go. 4 points clear. Real Madrid and Barcelona actually sneak in second in the end. Fantastic. And Espanyol 4th. Deserved more than that this season, I would say. And Atletico Bilbao 5th. Quite close to them in the end. I feel that Tenerife were always there or thereabouts at the start. Fucking Real Sociedad, hate them. Atletico Madrid thankfully finished below them. Could have done. Actually, no, they could still finish above them. They got a game in hand. Okay, who's their game in hand? Logrones, by the looks of it. Okay, whatever. But I think that wraps up this episode. We're going to run straight through. I'm going to try and play straight through now to the World Cup. I think I can play that all without doing the update, because I think I need to do that before the update. We'll do that. We'll have a look at... and then what I'll do with the look back episode, that's where I'll sort of revisit the challenge for us, because... yeah, I don't want to make... Because the World Cup is going to try and be played in one episode, so it's going to be quite long itself. So, if you enjoyed today's episode, drop a like down below. If you're enjoying the series, enjoying the content on the channel, please drop a sub to the channel as well. All that lovely stuff. And until next time for the World Cup, I will see you next time. Take care.